There was no warning. It kind of, after his message of I am you and you are me, it just started. And I will just say that my life review was spicy. I wasn't the best guy. I did have experiences in the life review that I would say are beautiful and loving and showed me when I was love. But a lot of it was how I dealt with people. A lot of it was understanding I was just walking around in denial of what I was, what you are, what everybody is, denying my connection to others. I was an elitist, right? If you weren't close to the top like me, why would I even talk to you? You're not worth my time.
And
So
during that
like,
life review, were you feeling remorseful or guilt, embarrassed, or going through all kinds of emotional
no,
conniptions because of the influence you'd had on people?
no, you know what it was? It's worse than that. It's, I didn't have regret, or I didn't have, the emotional side. When you're there with this being and you're feeling the love that comes from this being and you're witnessing yourself play out something, and you're either in your body or in somebody else's receiving kind of the garbage you're spitting at somebody, you recognize that you're letting this being down. And that's the worst feeling. It's not like, well, I really regret, like treating this person poorly. That's very human calculation. There is some of that in a way, but what really hurts is when you understand that that being is also that person that you had spit that at, right? I am you, you are me. It is everything. We are it. When you realize what you're doing to somebody else, you're doing to it, then that's the worst feeling.
Yeah,
That is an
remember Jesus. You
emptiness.
probably don't remember this because you didn't go to church, but Jesus said, "Whatsoever you do unto the least of these, you do unto me."
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I would say that's the feeling that is the worst, because you recognize how much love you're receiving from this being, like unconditional love, even doing the worst thing I had ever done in my lifetime, all the worst things, unconditionally loved, not even a flinch. And it's like your best friend, your brother, your buddy, your maker, your all kinds of things, right? Wrapped up into one ball. And you're like, I let you down. I let you down. And that is the worst feeling that I can put. It's like, I tell everybody, if you do one thing here, recognize how you treat people, because you don't want to feel that. You just don't. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. And it's not about like how many F-bombs I dropped or how much porn I watched, or like those are human things. But it's about our connection to each other. It's about understanding how connected we are to each other. It's about understanding we are love itself in a way. And I would say that was the biggest takeaway for me in my experience. I can't speak for anybody else's, but that was
I've heard you
rough.
say that we're not judged, but it sounds here like you were judging yourself at that point.
Correct. There was no
This
judgment coming.
being wasn't like, giving you a hard time, but
No,
it's like, okay, let me just play this movie
it's,
for you and see how you feel.
yeah, it's like in that space, the human filter is removed. Sometimes I say, we have excuses here why we act a certain way. Like I could have taken everything in my life review and said, from the age of 21 to 46, everything that I did bad was because I was stressed because I was working a lot of hours, right? That's an excuse. There's no excuse there. It doesn't exist. There's no like, you're too tired. You were tired and you yelled at your kid, right? We're going to do these things because we're here to experience. However, if you're awake to that fact that this is an experience, you won't have the excuse of why you do certain things.
Yeah.
And that was the eye-opening piece for me. There was no judgment from that being whatsoever. And I'd done some really crazy, nasty things.
You just weren't awake.
And yeah,
Remember what Jesus said on the cross. He said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's weird. It's like you feel like a child there. Like we live at a complete adult life. We think we know what's up. You die and you have an experience. You're like, oh, I was the kid in the corner of kindergarten just eating crayons. I thought I knew what I was doing. It's like you just have this difference of feeling between you and what it really is. And you just realize we're all children here, just feeling our way through it. We're all in this stage of trying to remember what this is about. And how could a God being in a sense look at you and go, well, when you were 16, you did this and I'm going to punish you for it. There's no punishment in a sense. So it's beautiful.